I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where the hootin' heck are you now, Ayame? I'm in LA. I'm in LA. Yeah, sorry. You know what? I can't just sit around. I'm a game player. I play the game. I do the work. No, I just decided to come here and be alone because, you know what I said about being alone? It's really important. No, I'm joking. No, let's be serious. It's an intro. Let's be serious for an intro. I'm currently in Los Angeles. Yeah, in Los Angeles. Why? I've planned a trip to the US, the Americas, really, let's say. I'm using it as a reason to prove that I'm important. I'm also using it as an opportunity to really branch out to the Americas, really. That's the true reason. And also there's some, family meetings and birthdays dotted in between. But you're listening to this podcast live from Los Angeles. I don't know what the term is for LA. The city of GTA. Wow. So let's get on with the Hoot and Heck show. Oh, I didn't mention, it's currently 7 a.m. I've been up since 5. Why? I'm jet lagged. So if you're listening to this podcast, soon as it gets uploaded, you may be thinking, Ayame. This was supposed to be uploaded at 4 p.m. Sorry, babe. 4 p.m. UK time. Sorry, babe. I'm 9 hours behind. 7 a.m. And I've been up for 2 hours. I need a coffee. Anyway, let's get on. This is episode 7 or 8, I'm not too sure, of In Ayame We Trust. This podcast is available on Spotify and also Apple Podcasts. And if you want to watch it visually, you can do so on my YouTube, Ayame.P. That's correct. If you want to submit an agony, you have a limited time to do so on everythingayame.com. Tell me all your problems. But other than that, piss off. I mean, probably self-centered of me to just assume that you want to know everything about me. But I thought I'd start by explaining why I'm on this trip. I'm on this trip because I feel like I mention it in every single episode. I've been broken up with. I no longer have a dependent, so to speak. Not to say that my ex-boyfriend was dependent on me, but when you're in a relationship, you can't really run off to America for a month as easily because, you don't want to leave your boyf. But now he's left me. So I planned this trip because also I do have a large American following, US, Canada, all that jazz. So I thought, why don't I just go over there? I am able to, so let's give it a go. Now, I'm going to LA, I'm going to Toronto, which is Canada, so not necessarily the US, and I'm going to New York. New York is one of my favorite cities in the US, and that's why I'm going there. Toronto, I used to live and have family there, so that's why I'm going there. LA, still up for debate why I'm here, because it's actually one of my least favorite visited cities in the US. And I'll tell you for why. I came here 2022 with Netflix. I came here for a job with Netflix. It was my first time coming to LA. It was the end of the year. And I came with a group of other creators. We were doing like a promo for a Netflix movie. And when I came to LA, I was very excited because I've never been to here before. It's like the city to make it. If you want to be a star, you got to go to Hollywood. You know what I mean? So I was very excited for that. I didn't realize how empty and soulless this place is. The sun's rising behind me. I don't know if you can see. Well, if you're listening, you definitely can't see. But if you're watching, the sun is rising behind me because, as I mentioned, it's 7 a.m. There is just such a intense separation, and not even separation because it's put together between the rich and the poor. It's like the extremities of richness and wealth with the extremities of poverty living within the same city, almost a stone's throw away. And it's I don't like it. I don't like it. It seems so inhuman to have such a two ends of the spectrum living so closely together and not helping. You know, didn't like that about LA. It also felt like when I came here last time, it was very much, and it's similar. I got the same vibe from Toronto when I lived there. It's very much, who do you know? Who do you know, and how important are you? And that is dependent. That defines whether I actually consider you someone I can talk to. And I don't like that at all. I've never been one to really value that in my own personal life, and therefore when I'm put in that environment where people only really speak to you because they deem you a store, I don't like that. It doesn't sit right with me at all. So that was another reason why I didn't like LA. Since coming here this time around I have a car. I didn't have a car last time. Makes the experience a whole lot different, I'll tell you that. And this time around, I spent some time actually, not just went into, because last time I popped in to. This time I spent some time in a little old place called Target. And that's where I decided, you know what, I'm going to give LA a chance. I'm going to give LA a chance. It is the most beautiful thing. I bought a water bottle, not a Stanley, because they're obviously all sold out by the maniacs that just decide to buy a load of Stanley cups. What do you need all those Stanley cups for? Stop mass buying. Anyway, didn't buy a Stanley cup. Maybe I'll find one along the way, along my travels. Brought some brioche buns and eggs. And there was this stall where it had a load of like miniature cosmetics. I died. There was a tiny little deodorant. I think the brand is Natura. Bear with, I'll see what it's called. I got the name completely wrong. It's called Native. Look how pissing small. You can't see if you're listening. Let me tell you, they're the size of maybe, I don't know, but they're pissing tiny. And I was obsessed, and therefore I bought two. For when you're on your travels and you just need a cheeky little, you can keep it in your bag. I might buy another one actually, because I need one. I like to keep deodorant on me. But I mean, those are a bit more, it's a lot nicer to keep a miniature deodorant as opposed to a big piss off Dove roll-on. Anyway, and yeah, Target I went into yesterday and decided that that's the place for me. If you're wondering where I'm staying, I won't actually be disclosing where I'm staying, because recently I've had a TikTok, watched a TikTok where someone basically figured out where I stayed and what type of room I stayed in just from my room service review. And therefore I won't be disclosing anything about where I'm staying until I leave. Why? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Anyway, those are my views on LA. New York I find is a bit more like London, and that's why I like it more. I think I don't know, I really do love London. I've grown up in West London. I just find it a beautiful place. I think the architecture's really pretty. Yes, our government are actually whack. That's one thing I'd like to change about London. I think if I changed that part of London, then it would be perfect. Just that tiny part. That's funny, actually. You think about it, it's just that part. One key is that our government needs to change. And then I think London would be the perfect city, personally. Anyway, so yeah, I arrived here yesterday. I will kind of disclose some personal truths. My biggest fear about coming here, and I didn't actually realise it until the plane landed. Actually, no, until I got on the plane. Until the plane landed. I'd sat through a whole 10-hour flight, and it was only I'd booked this trip at the start of Jan. It's now the start of Feb. I'd booked this trip at the start of Jan and had been preparing for this trip, excited for the trip, and it wasn't. I packed my suitcase. I'd travelled to the airport, checked in, sat in the lounge and waited for my flight, got on the flight, sat for about 9 hours on the flight. It wasn't until the last hour of the flight that I thought to myself, what the pissing hell what the hell am I doing? What the pissing hell am I doing? And I got really, really scared, because what the hell? I'm going to have to speak to new people pretty much every day, because my normal people are not here with me. And that's concerning. And that really, really scared me. I think I said in my New Year's episode that it's really important to enjoy your own company. And I do. But this is going to be like an intense course of enjoying your own company, because for a good 5 weeks, it's just me. It's just this bitch. It's just me. It's literally me and my bestest friend, me. What are we going to talk about? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to have to really get used to going to dinners by myself. And I know, practice what you preach, Ayame. And I said in that episode, you gotta love being around yourself. You gotta love being with yourself. You're your own best friend. I am. But this is quite daunting that I won't have any kind of separation from that. It's just completely just me. If anything goes wrong, or if I need any problems solved, think about it. If I need, and I'm working this out with you guys while I'm speaking, really. We're doing this little maths equation together. If there's an issue, if there's a problem while I'm out here, 9 hours behind in LA, who's going to fix it? Has to be me. Because not only are the people that usually help me 9 hours ahead of me, which means that by the time it gets to maybe 12 p.m., 1 p.m. this time, it's going to be 9, 10. A lot of people will be asleep. And when it's late or mornings for them time, the times don't match up, basically. Not only that, what can they do for me in LA? Because they are in a whole separate continent. So any issues, because I was thinking to myself when I was on the plane as we were landing, what if I get attacked? What if I get robbed? What if I get killed? You know, that's always a thought for a woman. What if I get killed? That's always a constant thought. For all of you men listening, hope you know, unless you're a gay man, because that's also a thought. Anyway, sorry. So, yeah, it's quite, I'm really being a brave girl, in my opinion. And it's not to say that I haven't travelled by myself before. I lived in a whole other country by myself before, but I had family there. This is really a test of whether I actually enjoy my own company and whether I'm actually happy to be by myself. That was intense working that through with you. I don't know if that's really helped, because I'm really just talking about myself, aren't I? Don't know if that provides you any value, finding out whether or not I can be by myself. I'd like to speak to some LA boys. Yeah, I would. I'd like to get just a cheeky little LA kiss. I don't know. Maybe. No. We'll see. No, let's move on to the next segment. Obviously, that is Dear Ayame. And we're going to be working through some letters. And just a mix of things, really. Because, of course, I think I've spoken so much about love and relationships in the past few episodes. I'd like to kind of vary it. I'd like to, switch it up. So let's do that. Let's speak about some other problems that people have. People have so many different types of problems. Let's sort them out. Yeah? Let's go. Well, it looks like the theme for this week, and I'm going to hold the mic as I usually do, actually. Yum. The theme for this week for a lot of the agonies I'm going to say the theme is growing up and growing out. Wow! Oh, God, she's a poet. She's a poet and she absolutely does know it. That's me. So let's start off with the first one, shall we? Dear Ayame, I just moved out of my parents' house and into my own apartment for the first time. I'm 23. Pissing hell, you're 23 and you've already moved out? Well done. I'm 23 and missed out on the typical college experience because of COVID. I've been craving this level of independence for the longest time, but I feel kind of stuck. It's nice being on my own, but now what? How do I find myself after spending my entire life living for and with other people? You just find yourself. It's so funny. Sometimes the simplest answers are the answers. You just do. And it's similar to what I was saying last week about you're not going to know you're okay until you're in the moment of being okay. You have to be okay to know that you're okay. Similar with this. You've just moved out. Give it a minute. And things will just beep, 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 start happening. And you'll notice things about yourself, like ways in which you live, how you like to have your house, things like that. And also things like hobbies that you like. And it will just all start falling. There's this whole idea, and I, as I say, I fall victim to it too. I'm a culprit, where we have to have everything. We have to know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. And living life is just so much more difficult unless we know how it's going to happen. But unfortunately, that's not how life works. It is completely out of our control. And how things go and how we feel about things, they a lot of the time are out of our control. How we behave is very much in our control. And I would recommend that you just live. That's so simple and almost silly, but I recommend that you just live and see what life does. See how it happens. Congratulations that you've moved out of your parents' house at 23. Pissing hell. I didn't move out into my mum's house until last year, and I'm 27 now. And you know, this is a really good moment for you at such a young age as well to really know, you know, who you are. You've said, how do I find myself after spending my entire life living for and with other people? That's the best part of it. There's no how, it's just going to happen. You're just going to find yourself. It's not like, I mean, I could say, you know, go out and meet people, go and take up a hobby, start working on, you know, your health and fitness. 1000% you could do all those things, but there's no surefire way of finding yourself. It's just going to happen. Something's really going to click for you because, I mean, you know, like the eat, pray, love situation. She went to India to find herself. Was it India? It probably wasn't the process of going to India and seeing different cultural differences, or a process of going on holiday when you go on a vacation or you go on a big trip to find yourself, so to speak. Me on this trip, it's not me going on this trip to find myself. It's small things that might happen. It may be how I react to someone asking me for directions, and then I realized, oh no, I am actually, this is how I am when I think about things. This is how I am when I react to people. It may be me going to an event and having to speak to new people and noticing, oh, I'm like this. That's how you find yourself. Small little reactions and things that you do that you notice. And that's how you find yourself. It's not going to be you just living by yourself. I don't know if I've made sense with that, but congratulations. How do you find yourself? You just open your eyes. Open your eyes. And I'm sorry I don't really have much of I feel like every single agony I do has that same ending. I'm sorry that may not be helpful. I hope it is. You've just got to trust the process. It's going to be great living by yourself. It's also going to be incredibly lonely. This is a fantastic venture and a really exciting experience, but it's also going to be a terrible experience at times. Not overall, just at times. It's going to have terrible moments where you're crying because you're so lonely. And then the loneliness fades. Me speaking about my loneliness. But no, it's going to be fantastic overall. Those bits of loneliness and sadness will literally be one brushstroke against 1,000 brushstrokes. I am a poet. Okay, I speak so perfectly. I actually need to write a book. Soon come. Next one. Dear Ayame, I honestly don't know what to do anymore. I've made up my mind to become a radiology technician. Pissing hell. You trying to show off? Are you trying to show off? Just because I do a little content. I'm just a little content creator and you can do radiology technically. How dare you? Congratulations. I've made up my mind to become a radiology technician, but I honestly don't want to do that. Fair. I hate the idea of working. Absolutely fair. Though I need money. Yeah. I have no choice really because I don't know what to do with my life, but I need to make money. I'm 25 and feel so hopeless and stupid. Oh, wow. Don't feel stupid, don't feel hopeless. You're only 25, and even though that's like, oh, you're in your mid-20s, you've really got to think about, and I feel like I'm really kind of using other people with this podcast. I'm using my dad a lot in the quotes that he gave me, but he's an old man, so he knows a lot. When I turned 20, he gave me a little anecdote, a little helpful. Oh, the sun's really rising. Is that garbage truck outside? It's making a ruckus. That is a really tall palm tree as well. Don't know if you can see in the camera. There's palm trees and they're really pissing tall. Anyway, my dad gave me a piece of advice. Not even a piece of advice. He just said to me, when I was a teenager and I'd finished puberty, I thought I knew everything. I was walking around Jack the Lad. I thought I knew it all. And then I turned 20 and I realised I knew nothing when I was a teenager. And I knew so much more now. And I was living life thinking, yeah, I've got it all down pat. Then I turned 30 and realised that the things I knew at 20, nothing compared to what I know at 30. And then I turned 40, and so on and so on and so on. With each, you learn and you grow and you develop, and you cannot know everything right now in this moment of 25. You may even be 55. And when you turn 65, you'll think, piss, God, what, Ayame? What? Don't feel stupid and hopeless that you don't know what you want to do with your whole life. You've literally lived maybe a quarter of your whole life, and you're beating yourself up because you don't know how you want to spend the rest of your 3 other quarters. Piss off, babe. Piss off. You're absolutely fine. Radiology technician, I mean, that sounds like it brings home the bacon. I'll be honest. I'd stick to it. But if it doesn't make you happy, do hobbies that make you happy. If the radiology technicianing is the thing that has to bring home the bacon, then do other things outside of that make you feel fulfilled. Make you feel fulfilled. And develop skills and contacts that may allow you to do those other things as your full-time job. Because unfortunately, unless you haul yourself out to a nice rich man and he falls in love with you and decides to spend money on you and fund your life, you're gonna have to work. I'm so sorry, babe. I'm so sorry. Or what you could do is remove a wet floor sign, trip, compensation. I wouldn't do that though, because that's also, there might be cameras. Anyway, I'm sorry that you don't enjoy, and I'm also going to give you another anecdote about a friend of mine. I'm not going to say her name because I actually can't confirm that she'll be happy for me to be saying this, but there's a friend of mine that was in a job that's very well respected. It's like, I always quote her that I say, yeah, I've got a friend that works in this field, because it's a very well respected industry. She doesn't really like it. She did it because at the time she thought, oh yeah, she did the degree because at the time she thought, oh yeah, this will be good. It'll pay the big bucks. And I mean, I like parts of it, but she had a dream to be in the entertainment field. She always has been. She's always been very entertaining, so to speak. And for a while she would beat herself up. She's my age now, her birthday's before mine though, so she's older than me. Ha, you old bitch. Anyway, she had her dreams of being in the entertainment industry, and she would, outside of her work, do things, do hobbies, go to specific events that was in that entertainment field and not in the field that she was working in. And as time's going on in the most recent, I'm going to say 6 to 12 months, things have been happening for her to allow her and put her on the route to work in that entertainment field. Now she's 27, going to be turning 28 this year. And she's not fully in the entertainment field, but she's working towards going there, but still working in the field that she doesn't necessarily like. I'm speaking a lot in code, but it's because I don't want you to, just because you're 25 now, you may turn 27, 28, 29, 30 even, and something may happen for you where you develop a hobby or a skill that you think, I really enjoy this, and you start doing that skill more because you really enjoy it. And because you're doing that skill more, you're developing that and also developing context to allow you to maybe make a profit for it. And then you decide, maybe, do you know what? Piss off radiology. I like this more, and it may not pay as much, but it makes me happy. You're not going to know that until it happens, and you're only 25. So what I would say is, stop being a little babe and beating yourself up for just living life and not knowing what's happening next. Everyone's doing that, my love. Everyone is doing that. I would say just stick to the radiology for the money, because you do need money. You do, unfortunately. This capitalist world is really pissing us off, but you do. So stick to the radiology, but pick up other things, other hobbies, other things outside, extracurricular activities, I call them, like my horse riding. Do those so that, maybe at a time you may think, oh, maybe this isn't for me, and you start to love radiology technicianing more, or you do the hobbies so much that you're like, yeah, how do I make this into my full-time job? But you're 25, my darling. You're 25. No, I didn't know what I wanted to do at 25. At 25, I was working for an estate agent, a real estate company. At 25, look at me now, 2 years later. Life comes at you and it changes. You can't really control it. That's what I was doing at 25. And at 25, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I'm probably always going to be an estate agency. And maybe I'll own my own estate agency. Maybe I'll be a manager at the estate at the real estate firm that I'm at. And look at me now. I'm not. I'm in LA. I could work for Selling Sunsets, the Oppenheimer Group. Maybe. I have experience. I can sell. Sell. So yeah. Of course you don't know what you want to do at 25. You're 25. You've literally only been an adult for what? Get a grip. That's me shouting at you now because you need to get a grip and stop beating yourself up. Anyway, next agony. Now this is the last one. And I'm actually first of all, I can read the first line and I'm already astonished. It says, "Dear Ayame, love from Kazakhstan." What? You're telling me that people in Kazakhstan know who I am? That is insane to me. Kazakhstan. Yeah? I'm a little girl from London, from West London. And there's people in Kazakhstan on my website writing in agonies. That is insane to me. Thank you, Kazakhstan. Thank you, Kazakhstan. Anyway, love from Kazakhstan. Love your personality and just how gorgeous you are. Kazakhstan thinks I'm pretty. Oh my God, the whole of Kazakhstan thinks I'm pretty. I'm going to go over there and find a husband. Anyway, do you have any advice for someone who struggles with fears for the future? I always get such weird fears that something bad might happen when everything is actually going great. I have that. And you know what? I had that because I have a friend who's Albanian. And I don't know if this is an Albanian thing. She's one of my good friends. I've actually been to Albania. Ha ha ha, flex. Sorry, Kazakhstan. Not to flex on Kazakhstan. I'll come to you soon. But she, I think, like, maybe it was her family thing. I'm going to assume it was her cultural thing, but it might have just been her family. That if so much good is happening, you have to bite either an onion or a garlic to basically dispel any badness that's coming because you're having so much good. And so I always automatically think, you know, that like the death comes in 3. It's this superstitious thing that when you're having so much good, something bad is also brewing. My advice to you for someone that struggles with fears for the future, I always take it like that. I live in my dreams in the sense that I envision and live as though I'm in this future reality that I've created in my head. I have no other way of explaining it but that. Where it's like I envision this is where I'm gonna live with my husband and this many kids, and I'm gonna live here, and I'm gonna drop my kids off here, and then I've got to pick them up because I live in a fake reality of the future that I hope will happen. And it doesn't make me fearful, it makes me excited. And I think that's a quote actually that I saw on Pinterest. Shout out Pinterest. If one day Pinterest will sponsor this because I love Pinterest so much. But it was a quote that was something along the lines of, you shouldn't be afraid or you shouldn't be fearful or anxious about where you want to be in the future. You should be excited about getting there. Crazy. And I think I'm ad-libbing, like I think I'm paraphrasing really. I don't think that's actually how the quote was written. But essentially, the gist of it is, don't be scared of what the future holds. Be excited about what you're going to do for the future. Be excited about what you're going to do now that may come back and repay you in the future. And it's also about staying very much present. I think I struggle with that as well. I struggle with staying in the present. I'm in LA right now, but I'm thinking about, when I go to here and here, and thinking about when I leave LA and when I come back home or next year. I'm never really think about the now, the here and now, and focus on the here and now. And it's something that I really want to work on because the here and now is the only thing that actually is real. Wow, the Matrix. But it's the only thing that actually truly exists right now. Me in this moment, recording this podcast, is the only thing that currently exists. The future is not existent because it has not yet happened. So it's not actually real. And so when you're listening to this, the moment now that you are listening to this podcast is the only moment that truly exists. Savor it. Savor it. And if you want to plan for the future, plan for it, but also know that God is laughing at your plans. No matter what you do, maybe that will bring you, because it brings me some comfort in the chaos of it. No matter what you do, no matter how much you try to plan for the future, God, the universe, whatever God you believe in, whether you believe in the universe or whether you just don't believe, Life does not go the way you planned, no matter how hard you plan. Things happen with health, things happen with money, things happen with the people around you, circumstances change. And therefore, there is nothing that you can fear the future all you like. You have no control over it. Zero. Because you have no control over other people as well, more so. You have no control. The only control you have is over yourself. So control how you feel right now in this moment. Wow, Tony Robbins over here. But yeah, essentially, you can't. It doesn't matter how much you're scared of it. It's not going to do anything. Not going to do anything at all. You can plan and rigorously plan. Because I have, like I just said, 25, I'd planned. At 26, I'm going to be in this real estate firm, and then I'm going to own my own. I'm going to start managing it, and then I'm going to look at me now. Look at me now. Life changes completely. When I was 19 or 20, I was living in Toronto, and I was telling myself, okay, when I'm 21, I'm going to move to this position in my job, and then I'll start working here. And I had a fitness page, like a fitness Instagram page, and my fitness page will have this many followers, and then I'll start doing this with my fitness. Do you think I've ever posted a fitness video since I was 21? No. Life changes completely. Do not hang yourself up trying to control that and trying to fear that, because there's nothing you can do. Just live life, live present, and just take it as it comes and work on how you react to things more so than how you're going to change things. And that is my podcast. That has been me. I'm in LA right now. I'm going to be in LA next week, and I'll be doing the podcast again from LA next week. If you live in LA and you see me around, please say hello. Yesterday, when I was in Target, there was one woman that was essentially following me around. And I could see she was trying to pluck up the courage to say, hey, because she kept smiling at me. She kept looking at me like, just say hello, please. I think I'm quite nice. I won't bark at you. I won't do that. I won't do that. I won't eat you. And I won't say, ugh, get away. I completely will not. Unless you're mean. If you're rude, then I will. Get away from me. But if you're a nice person, please say hello. I'm lonely over here. Please do. Anyway, have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next Thursday. Speak to you all even. And yeah. Mwah.